Firefighting is a career like no other. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the journey of how I became a firefighter, why I became a firefighter, and a little insight on a day in my life as being a firefighter. My name is Cody Warner and I am a professional firefighter. A day in my life at work typically consists of I get to shift, I find the person I'm relieving. We usually have a conversation about what calls they ran, if there's anything changed on the rig, if any equipment was used. I set up all my gear, log us into our systems, and then we kind of just make sure everything is good on the rig, make sure everything is in working function, if anything needs to be replaced. We'll typically sit down, have coffee, talk about the plans for the day, if we're going to do any drills, if we'd have to do any trainings. We typically have a morning meeting, which would be citywide. And then we kind of just get into our workout for the day or our drills for the day. We'll have lunch, and then we typically spend a lot of time training or studying. Or the fire service is so progressive and so many new things are coming out daily. We like to spend a lot of time on YouTube and then try and practicing new drills. We usually go out into our community, go to houses, apartment complexes, buildings. We walk through the buildings, we train, we bring our tools to the door, like what we would do if this building was on fire, if the fire was here, the fire was there. We also do a lot of EMS training as well. We usually stay on task till about 5 or 6 p.m. And then we start making dinner, we eat dinner, we clean. And then we kind of just hang out and bond, I guess. We're trying to get to know each other, talk about our families, talk about things we do, things we like, maybe watch a movie, and then go to bed. And within all of those 48 hours, at any time the tones go off, we can go on a call. We're an all hazards department, so we can go to just about anything. Vehicle wrecks, fires, vehicle fires, medical calls. So just kind of just staying up on our training is really what our day is mainly about, and then obviously responding to calls. My schedule typically looks like 48 hours on, and then I have 96 hours off. So for those 48 hours, I'm living at the station. I said we do breakfast, lunch, dinner together, we work out together, we drill together, we train together, we watch movies together. So yeah, 48 hours straight, and then I do get 4 days off. A moment I realized I was doing what I was meant to do, kind of started out right out of high school. I was a volunteer firefighter. I did that for almost a year. I decided it was out of state. I moved back to Idaho. I was getting my EMT, and I was just working odd end jobs till a job opening came up. So I took about a year off, and every day of just working outside of the first responder realm, it was just work. I kind of dreaded going to the next day, Monday through Friday job. Once I got back into being a first responder, everything improved. My attitude, my outlook on life, I was actually satisfied. I loved coming to work. I loved like working with my coworkers and creating these bonds, because this isn't just a job, this kind of becomes a lifestyle. And I've created lifelong friendships. Like, I know my coworkers' kids, and I go on vacation with my coworkers because they're not just my coworkers, they're my friends. And I think that in itself kind of proved to me like this is where I'm meant to be, this is what I'm happy doing. Yeah, that was kind of the moment I realized like I'm actually very happy to be here. What made me decide this specific job was when I was about 15. I actually had a class, and we had to do an essay and a speech on what we wanted to do in the future. I always wanted to go to the NFL, but for some reason I stopped growing at 5'8". I tell everybody 5'9". So NFL was kind of out of the picture for me, so I actually Googled jobs. Firefighter came up. I took a little job test. What should I do? Punched in all my answers, and Firefighter came up, and I just looked in the job description. I was like, this looks awesome. few months later, I met my soon-to-be best friend, and his dad was a fireman. And I'd go to the station, I'd visit him, and he would just let me play with the tools and check out the engine and sit in the engine, check out the truck, play with the truck. And I was just instantly like sparked an interest. And in my high school actually let us do a class on firefighting, and just this passion grew for it, and just thinking this could be a career was almost mind-blowing. But yeah, I just fell in love with it from a young age. And then as I grew up, I kind of realized like this job is more than just a job. It's more than just having fun. It's more than just hanging out. Like I said, this is a lifestyle, and the more ingrained you are into it, the better it is. And what you put into it is what you get out of it. And not a lot of jobs are like that. Not a lot of careers are like that. Not a lot of lifestyles are like that. So, yeah. Steps it took me to get here. Like I said, I started in high school. I took a high school course. We were kind of ingrained with one of the local fire departments, just doing a bunch of training. And I quickly realized how competitive this field is, and how this isn't something you just walk into, like you got to work at it. And so right out of high school, I went and joined a volunteer department, and I started gaining experience and running calls and seeing, like, am I actually suitable for this career? After that, I went and got my EMT. I knew like this is exactly what I want to do. I went and got my EMT, had to take an EMT course, had to do clinicals, and basically just learn the job, especially the medical side. Most of the job of a firefighter is medical. And I knew that, especially for the department I wanted to work for, so I got EMT training. I actually started with an ambulance service, kind of get my foot in the door. And so yeah, I was there for a few years, just getting all the experience I could. We worked hand in hand with the fire department. So I just took any tips and advice they could give me. And the main advice they gave me was crush an interview, like really be ready for an interview. So once my time came and I actually got an interview, it became like a part-time job of prepping for an interview and reading books and calling people and asking questions and, hey, can you put me through a mock interview? And because that's really what got you the job. So I put a lot of time into that mock interview. There's also written tests. A lot of departments do written tests, and you got to study. You got to keep up on your 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade math and reading and writing, mechanical aptitude, and learning how to pass those tests, because sometimes it can be a game. But yeah, lots of study, lots of prep, and the fitness standards, like working out and actually making it a habit, and then creating a lifestyle around that, and how to work out and how to be healthy. But yeah, just a lot of training, and some people can walk right into it and first interview, get their first job. But for me, it was a long road, and it took years of just prep and training and persistence. But yeah. What I wish I knew before starting this journey was how persistent I had to be. At a young age, I knew this is exactly what I wanted to do, and I had my whole life planned out, and I was going to go to school, I was going to volunteer for this amount of time, I was going to have my fire career by the age of 21. But what I wish I knew was it takes years, and it takes practice, and it takes persistence. And when I didn't get my job at 21, I didn't get at 22, I didn't get at 23, it kind of felt like maybe I'm not ready for this. But somebody came along and told me the only reason you won't get this job, you won't work in this career field, is if you quit. So that just kind of sparked into me, like I'm just going to keep trying, like this is what I want to do, this is what I was meant to do, and I'm just going to stay persistent, and I'm going to keep going. But yeah, I wish I could go back and say, you're not getting a job at 21, but you need to keep going. I'd say start studying. If this is really what you want to do, there are people who train for years and years for this position. So start reading what the tests are like, start looking into the departments you want, study the department. Right? This is like a big family, and departments want people who want to be there, not just people who want the job. So study the departments, start reading books on tests, and start interview prepping and get fit, and really look into what your department, the specific department you want. Think about what they want in a candidate and do any and everything you can to become that candidate. My favorite thing about my job is every day is different, and I get to work with some awesome people. I'm truly blessed to come to work, and I feel like I'm just working with my friends. And it becomes not work. It feels like we're just doing this. We're having fun doing it. And the more positive you are, the more happy you are, just the better everything goes. And like, I just say, working with the people I love, and every day is different, new challenges, and there's always opportunities to grow. This is a progressive field, so just the more you can study, the more you can put into it, the better you get. And everybody's so competitive, and we all want to be the best while bringing each other up. Like, it's such a team value. So. This career is for life. I'm zero plans of moving on from this department. I feel like I am home. I feel like I'm with my family. I do want to develop in this career. I'm very happy where I'm at. But at some point, I absolutely want to become a driver. I want to become a captain. But yeah, I've had many stepping stone jobs to get me to this point. But I've worked really hard to be here, and there's nothing else out there that I could do. Like, this was the only job, the only career for me. Fire service is traditionally hardworking and kind of an honor to work for. We remember those who came before us, and we try to make it better for the people who are after us. But this is an entity that can only grow and get better, and is only good, and it's only going to get out what we put into it. So if this is what you want to do, please have the mindset of you're going to come to work every day hungry and eager to make this place better, and to be the best version of you, and to help the others around you and the next in line. This is something that we absolutely, once we get it, we turn around and help the next in line, and that just goes to show, like, this is a big family, it's traditional, and it's an honor.